everyone, as you can see by my glasses, my pencil, and this book here, and actually also all of these other books that I have to sort and put away, I am Librarian Minion Michelle, and I apologize for the camera shaking. It tends to do that when I have a lot of books around. So, without further ado, let me discuss the book that I'm going to be briefly addressing for this Book Review Wednesday, as the regular Michelle likes to call them. So, this book is by Ray Bradbury, and it's called Something Wicked This Way Comes. I believe there was also a film adaptation of this book. However, I don't think it received as much of a high rating compared to probably the book. So, that's just something to keep in mind in case you're more interested in a live-action interpretation. But the plot of this book is fairly straightforward. It's about two boys, one named Jim Nightshade and one named William Holloway. And a carnival during the month of October comes around, and they later discover that this carnival is so quasi-haunted. It has a lot of elements that are very mysterious, and they sort of end up developing an understanding that the carnival in itself is probably full of evil. And so they kind of go on a mission to ultimately figure out who's behind this carnival and who is trying to sort of create a disturbance to the town by, making this haunted carnival. And there's a lot of little twists and turns that the story takes in order to keep your interest. There is it again provides, I think, the essentials of what a Halloween book does. Again, it takes place in the month of October. There's a carnival, and usually sometimes carnivals happen during the fall season. And the interesting thing is that it focuses on a carnival being sort of haunted and full of bad spirits. So basically, that's what this book really focuses on, and is at the sort of center of attention. And you'll see how the two main characters sort of bounce each other off as they're trying to figure out the mystery behind this carnival. So you will see how their personalities sort of blend as they're trying to figure out what's causing this carnival to basically be a nuisance. And even though maybe some people don't even realize it's a nuisance. And there's also a lot of mysterious moments. So again, there is that open, I think the book leaves certain things open to interpretation, but I wouldn't say this is an overly complex book, because again, we have two children as our main characters. We have a more simple writing style, so there's really not a huge amount of depth, but it's still an enjoyable read in the sense that it gets, children sort of invested in good books surrounding a kind of Halloween-oriented premise. And I think this one is definitely worth recommending to kids, probably in middle school, even high school, because I had to read this for high school, actually. So, but maybe high school might be a little bit too old, but this, I think, works because the characters, the two lead boys, they're like 13, so they're still pretty young, so it does incorporate things through their perspective, and they really do take the forefront and are the center of attention. But it's interesting too with the elements that are associated with the carnival, because there's certain things that happen within the story that I don't want to give away that sort of make this kind of a haunting rather interesting and intriguing. For example, one of the one of the things is based around seductive promises of dreams. So it's kind of seducing kids at that young age who are vulnerable to this kind of trickery, and you'll sort of see how that is incorporated into the story if you choose to read it. So there's, I think, a lot that this book has to offer. And again, it's not as adult as something like Stephen King, but it's definitely, I think, worth recommending to younger audiences. If again, I think adults can enjoy this book too if they want to kind of go back to their childhood. Because again, I think this book sort of encapsulates certain things that I think a lot of people can identify with as children and as adults sort of revisiting their childhood. So I think, though, that's really ultimately all I can say about this book without giving really anything away. It is really interesting in how it executes itself, and there's little bits of twists and turns that go through these pages. So I think it's definitely worth a read if you enjoy this kind of work. But ultimately, I think that's really all I can say. If there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But I have to go back to putting all of these books on the shelves. So I'll be busy probably for a while. But until next time, I hope I can make it back. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. But in case not, I hope you all have a pleasant month of Halloween.